Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to this course on Excel for Business Analytics. The topic that I'm actually going to cover in this lecture is freezing panes in Excel. So panes or freezing panes in Excel is actually all about freezing certain areas of your worksheet in order for you to have better visibility of some critical elements of that sheet that you always want visible in front of you. And while talking about the freezing panes topic, I'm actually going to talk about how can you only freeze the first columns of your worksheet. How can you then freeze the first rows of your worksheet, and how can you actually create a custom pane freeze out of the options that are provided by Excel in order to actually have certain areas of your worksheet visible at all times. Let's move to the Excel file where we're going to do these small exercises. So let's assume that I want to, I have this data set which is a combination of different columns and multiple rows. We have 53 rows in total, and as you see that if I move from left to right, I actually lose visibility of the month column, which is an inconvenience. If I'm actually moving down a big data set, I actually don't know what month am I actually referring to, if that's important for me. Similarly, if I move in a vertical manner, you see I lose visibility of this top, label pane, which is over here. And that's again, is actually an inconvenience, because, if I want to have in view all the time, what am I, what column am I referring to, then, it can become actually pretty confusing or pretty, disturbing if I don't have that visibility. So, how to actually stop this from happening? So, all you need to do is you need to go to review, and over here you should be able to actually in fact sorry about that, not review, actually view. And over here you should be able to actually see in the window ribbon, or the section of the ribbon, there is a freeze panes option, and the freeze panes option actually has three different iterations. You can actually either freeze the top row by default, so you see suddenly a line actually started appearing over here, and when you move in a vertical manner, it actually does not move the top first row with it, so it doesn't actually ever become invisible. In addition to that, you can actually also freeze the first column. Once that happens, if you move from left to right, you always have visibility of the first column in your data set, and that's really helpful. If you have a big data set actually spanning from left to right, it makes life a lot easier. But what if you want to make both the first column and the first row frozen, so you have the visibility for the month and the row values at the same time, or the header labels at the same time? What you can do to do that is just go to freeze panes once again, and then first of all we'll have to unfreeze, and then just select freeze panes. So did you see that it actually created this grid over here? And we know that there is a grid over here because there is a line, visible line, that's actually running from left to right and top to bottom. And that grid is actually what the freeze pane option is. It's actually activated. So right now I can actually see my column and all the row labels uh, at the same time. How did I do that? Let me actually do it once again. So wherever I want to actually create that grid, I am actually going to select the cell that is at the edge of that grid. So if my selection is B2, the grid is actually going to converge on A1. And what do I mean by that? So if I click over here and then if I just tell it to freeze pane, and you see that the grid is actually converging on A1, and the grid is actually starting from B2, where I had I had placed my cursor. So right now you can move from left to right, and you can actually also move from top to bottom. And you see how convenient it has become for me to actually have the visibility of some key factors that are inside my data, and I want those key factors to be always visible. It has become really easy for me to actually look at those. So this is how you can actually freeze panes and make your life a lot easier once you're actually navigating in a large data set which has a lot of rows and a lot of columns. If you want to unfreeze, if you want to shut down the freeze pane option, you can actually just go over here and just tell Excel to unfreeze your Excel file. So the panes are actually going to go away and the grid is actually going to go away. Just another note on the side, you can create the custom grid anywhere. So let's assume I want a custom grid that actually converges at 4, that actually starts from cell C5. Okay, so how do I actually do that? I can actually just create this just tell Excel to actually freeze the panes, and now you see that the grid is actually formulating right over here, and it's starting from actually C5, and it's actually converging at B4. So now if I move from left to right, so from top to bottom, I have visibility of 2 columns now, and if I move from left to right, now you can see I have visibility of different rows at the top, because now I have actually visibility of 3 rows because I locked them up in such a manner. So I hope that you find this useful, and you will actually find this useful once you actually start using Excel for analytics or data management. And I hope to see you soon in the next lecture as well.